What is up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am bringing you through 10 exercises every runner needs. The most common misconception I hear with running is that it's bad for you, it's bad for your knees, it's bad for your joints. That's not true. But what I will say is that running highlights your weak areas very quickly. I have tried and tested all of these exercises. These are the exact ones that got me through all of my marathons pain-free, all of my half marathons pain-free. If you don't want any pain, no knee pain, no hip pain, these are the ones for you. Before I dive in and just give you a good detail of how to perform them, what you should be feeling, what they work, all I will say is to not underestimate the power of the body weight movements. Those are the ones that were probably the most effective for me. They are tough, they're nasty, but they work. And lastly, one thing you're going to notice about all of these videos is that I'm not wearing shoes. You need to work your feet strength and your stability, and often cushiony shoes are going to throw that off and limit the force you put into the ground. So running is a single leg sport. There's a lot of impact on that one leg, so I do highly recommend training with no shoes, if your gym allows it. Okay, I'm going to start it off with my favorite. This was a hard one to choose between a few of them, but number one is going to be walking backwards on the treadmill at an incline. So you can see here, I pop the treadmill up to the highest incline. That's usually about 12 to 15%. And I walk backwards at a speed that is comfortable. So this will be different from person to person, and you'll be able to gradually increase it the more confident you get with walking backwards. But what you'll notice in my form here is that I am going toe, heel, toe, heel. When we walk outside, a lot of the time it's heel toe. So this is going to put a lot of front load on the knees, which is a lot of your running technique. There is a lot of load all going forward at the same time, which our body isn't totally used to if we're not training in that range. So this really helps strengthen the knees. I did this for 20 minutes once a week in the whole block of my marathon training, and I had zero knee pain. This was a big factor of that. Anyone with knee pain, you need to build the surrounding muscles around that knee. This is going to do exactly that. So I highly recommend popping on it backwards. You might feel a bit silly at start, but honestly, a lot of people know what it's for now. Like, I've had people come up to me and be like, oh, are you working on your knees? Do you have knee pain? Are you injured? And I'm like, yep, I am working on them. So people do typically know, so don't worry about that. But yeah, huge one for building the knee strength. You will feel the quads burning in this one too, which is also a really good muscle to strengthen. That is going to be the big muscle helping you land and take every part of that run, that load. Number two, a very underrated exercise is Tibialis Raises. This one in particular for me actually helped with my knee pain, but it's also an amazing one for anyone who has shin splints. This one is super easy to do. You can do it at home. You don't need any gym equipment. All you're going to do is pop your shoes off, sit your butt back on the wall. You're going to pull your toes up to the sky, and you're also going to pull your toes back towards your face. So kind of that little lean back with the toes, and you're going to try spread the toes as well. So this is going to fire up your tibialis, which is those muscles on either side of your shin. This takes so much impact when you run it, so these have to be strong. What I like to do for this one is hold it for 60 seconds, and you should be really fighting. Keep pulling it up back towards your face. That should feel a burn in those 60 seconds. Then I go into 30 seconds of slow taps on the floor. Same thing, pulling it back as high as I can. And then I do 30 seconds of fast taps. This one burns, and it's a different sensation. Towards the end of this exercise, you should almost be starting to fail. Like, your feet should barely be moving. It's almost like your brain isn't connecting to your feet anymore. They're just failing because they're so exhausted. That's how you know when you're doing this exercise right. If you can get through those 2 minutes without feeling like that, you can add more intensity by pulling it back, opening up the toes, pulling it back towards your face, and just really fighting it. Should feel a bit shaky in there too. I love this, and this is the one I think every single runner should do. I want to move through some exercises now that are going to highlight some hip pain. So a really common pain that comes up is the side of the hip here. Again, it's taking a lot of load every time you land, so these can get really tired. You can really feel these towards the end of a run. A huge one that helped me, again, is this body weight exercise, are these side planks. So again, no equipment needed. You can do this one at home, really easy, but it is humbling. All you're going to do is come down on the side of your body, onto your elbow, onto your side of your knee, and you're going to come up into a full extension into a side plank. and then you're also going to lift that other leg that's not on the floor. So pulling that up as high as you can is the aim, and you're going to feel both sides. This side should burn from holding your body up, and this side should burn from really pulling that leg up off the floor. You're going to hold this for 60 seconds each side. If you can't do this right away, you're going to build it up. Start at 20 seconds, start at 30 seconds, and build it up until you have the strength to hold it for 60 seconds. But that one's humbling. When I get up off the floor, that one, I'm like barely able to walk. It definitely hurts. Next one, while we're kind of in that area, is going to be to help your adductors, which are connected to your groin. Groin is another common one that people pull or get injured or is feeling super fatigued. To strengthen this one, I want you doing some Copenhagen side planks. Again, a very humbling one. They're all humbling with those body weight exercises. So 2 variations for this, again, depending on your strength. You're going to pop your knee onto a bench, and very similar, you're going to pull up into a side plank position. But because that knee is on the bench, you are pulling using all of your adductors on the inside of the leg to hold your body weight up. Again, you want to work towards 60 seconds, but if you need some time to build that up, you can do that too, and then alternating sides. The progression of this, the next one up, is just to put your ankle on the bench instead of the knee. This is a lot more intense. It can feel a little sharp if your strength isn't there yet, but those are the 2 to kind of play around with until you build up the strength again. Next up, we have some step downs. Step downs, again, are going to be very similar to that walking backwards on the treadmill. It's going to be a lot of front load. It is going to really strengthen the knees. So all you're going to do is get a little box, a high box, whatever you have available to you. Start at the top of the box for this one. Flex the foot, and you're going to come down into a squat, come down as far as you can while keeping those hips square. If that hip starts dropping as you come down, you've probably just gone a little bit too far for now. So really pushing forward into that front knee, drop as far as you can, and then pushing back up. So you're never actually going to come down and relax on the floor. You're always staying at the top and just slowly coming up and down. Very great one for the knees and that one. And then that one is simple to progress. All you can do is add some weight to your arms. You can hold it up on the shoulders, hold a kettlebell in front of you, whatever feels best. Next up, we're going to have single leg RDLs. Hamstrings were a big weakness of mine when it came to my running. Again, they would just get really fatigued towards the end of a run. So to strengthen those bad boys up, you got to do single leg work. It's a single leg sport, so you got to act accordingly. Single leg RDL, very similar to your basic RDL. Think of it as hinging at the hips, pushing those hips back behind you. We're just going to come down into that one leg before pulling back up. I like to add a knee drive there as well. Again, just to work on the hips and get into that running form. Now, this can really highlight instabilities pretty quickly and can feel really wobbly at the start. So if that is the case, all you need to do is just go for a single leg, hold on to something with one arm and perform it with the other. So that's going to give you a little bit of stability. So holding on to the side of the squat rack, to the side of a bench, and just performing it like that until, again, you build up that stability and you're feeling more confident to do it without. Add some weight as you please. It's totally normal to feel actual DOMs or muscle soreness in your feet because they are working so hard. You will find in those single leg RDLs that your feet really kind of wobble on the floor. They have to really work to stabilize your body. That's okay. You're building strength in there as well. It's always really nice as well to get a hard ball underneath your foot and give it a little massage. That is a brilliant one for runners. Number 7 is going to be your plyos, your plyometrics, your little jumps. So the jumps are going to be a little bit different. I don't want you landing with big bent knees. You actually really want to try absorb that impact with a very slight bend in your knees. When your feet hit the floor, you're actually trying to just focus on flinging your feet back up like a little spring. So let the ball of the foot hit the floor and then pull those toes back up again. So very small bend in the knees here. This is going to really drive that impact in that lower part of your body, around the shins, in the calves, and get it used to that impact that you are doing outside on the pavement. So start off with jumping 2 feet together. I like to do 10 forward, 10 back. Then I go 10 side to side, 10 in that shuffle step, and then 10 on your left, 10 on your right. You might notice that your jumps with the 2 feet are a lot higher than your jumps on that single leg. That's okay, it just means you need to build some strength in there as well. Moving on to the next one is going to be your hip thrusts. Glute bridges, hip thrusts, anything to work that glute med and that full glute. Of course, glutes are going to be a big drive of your run. You are pushing back on that glute, utilizing it every single step. So that needs to be strong in there. You can do glute bridges lying on the floor. You can do hip thrusts with the bench, the barbell, with a hip thrust machine if your gym has it. And I also really like to do single leg again, because again, running is a single leg sport. Number 9, we can't forget our calves. So regular calf raises or, again, single leg calf raises. I particularly love to do this with a bent knee. So what I'm going to do is just give that little gentle bend in the knee. Again, just getting used to that forward motion, that front load in the body, and then just coming up all the way onto the tip of the toes and all the way back down again. You're going to do that for 60 seconds each side. You can also add in an isometric hold to get used to being up on those toes as well. And last but not least, what I will add in today is your core work. So just some core stability work. If dead bugs are the basic, but they work, that's why they're there. Doing regular dead bugs, if you want to add a ball for some extra bit of weight, if you want to add a band around the legs for extra tension. Core is an essential part of your running. That trunk needs to be nice and stable, and it needs to be effective. So let's work that core as well. So there we have it. That is my Bible of exercises that every runner needs to be doing. If you want to be strong, if you want to run injury-free, you need to work all of those small muscles as well as those big muscles. Those small muscles are crucial, often forgotten about, but they are going to be the make or break between you and an injury. Make sure to like and subscribe. Appreciate your support, and I'll be back for more educational content very soon.